We are kicking off today with the man who WWE commentators recently called a cockroach, Paul Heyman. He has a tendency to adapt and survive, but he was left as a nervous wreck on SmackDown this week when confronted by one of WWE's top stars. Seth Rollins and the rest of his faction kicked off the show, hyped the Money in the Bank ladder match, and even name-dropped Roman Reigns himself. Rollins believes he's put the OTC on the island of irrelevancy, which instantly caught the attention of the Bloodline. Solo Sikoa was out with JC Mateo and Jacob Fatu by his side, much to the worry of the former Bloodline member Paul Heyman, who was previously put through a table by Sikoa, which took him out for months. Sikoa played on Heyman's nervousness by saying long time no see, but his Money in the Bank opponent quickly defended him by warning Sikoa that he had better watch what he said next. The men then had an intense back and forth, with Rollins even taking aim at Jacob Fatu, labeling him Solo's However, Fatu seemed more concerned with Braun Breaker, and their intense stare-down sent fans into overdrive. While they're on different rosters, the reaction alone proves that this is a clash everyone is dying to see. With the tension at an all-time high, Jimmy Uso made his presence known by jumping the Bloodline, which resulted in a singles match against JC Mateo. Jimmy managed to gain the upper hand at the start, but he was unable to cope with Mateo's power and strength advantage. While he was trying to physically destroy Uso, Sikoa was calmly trying to persuade Jimmy to join forces with them once again. Despite Mateo's dominance, Jimmy did get things back under control toward the end, until Fatu got himself on the apron to distract him. However, that backfired when Mateo accidentally knocked him off the apron as Jimmy scored a shock win with a roll-up. Against all odds, Jimmy handed Mateo his first ever defeat in WWE, which saw the ongoing tension between him and Fatu grow even further. He blamed Fatu for the defeat as the cracks in the Bloodline continued to grow. Do you believe having JC lose this early in his career was the right direction? Could WWE have taken things in a different direction? Let us know in the comments. The match was engaging, with Mateo wowing fans with a stunning standing dropkick to Jimmy while he was on the top rope, showcasing unbelievable agility for someone of his size. He also busted out a standing moonsault, proving that he's worth all of the hype surrounding him lately. The issues within the Bloodline didn't end here though. Mateo was shown moaning about the situation to Sikoa backstage later in the night when Fatu wasn't around. He made it clear that Fatu couldn't be trusted to help Sikoa win the Money in the Bank contract, but Sikoa calmed him down, even though he admitted he's literally all gas, no brains. However, Sikoa was the one looking stupid as it was revealed that Fatu was right around the corner and heard the entire exchange. This may be when Solo Sikoa finally crossed the line with Jacob Fatu. With betrayal in the air and trust shattered, could the Samoan werewolf retaliate by costing Solo the Money in the Bank match? What do you think? Has the Bloodline officially fractured beyond repair? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Rollins mentioning Reigns multiple times also caught people's attention, as situations like that don't happen without a purpose. Was it a not-so-subtle hint that fans need to be thinking about the big dog, or was it a setup for something even bigger? There's a possibility that Reigns will return at Money in the Bank this weekend, as WWE loves to deliver major surprises at premium live events. Reigns making a surprise appearance would be a significant situation, but at this point, it's nothing but a tease. However, with SummerSlam around the corner, it does feel like WWE could be building toward a major showdown between the former Shield brothers. What do you think? Will the Tribal Chief return at Money in the Bank, or is WWE saving him for a bigger surprise down the line? LA Knight is one of the fan favorites to win Money in the Bank this week, and he made his claims in a promo this week. However, his decision to name drop Aleister Black led to a match between them after Black had claimed Knight stole the win from him last week to qualify. The match started at an electric pace, with both trying to score near falls until an attempted Black Mass made Knight hit the reset button. The match was full of technical prowess, with lots of takedowns and counters rather than the traditional strikes fans expect from a Black match. While the match was building nicely, fans were cut off as Rollins appeared and nailed Knight with a stomp to end things via DQ. He attempted another when Black stopped things, but his decision to get involved led to him eating a monumental spear from Breaker. He and Reed then beat down Knight to weaken him before Money in the Bank. Fans were treated to an intense face-off between Black and Rollins, where they were reminded of the damage Rollins made Buddy Murphy cause to Black years ago, as his scar was on display near his eye. It was a subtle hint to the past, proving that Triple H isn't overlooking or forgetting their history. This could be a hint that WWE is ready to bring their intense rivalry back down the line. Damian Priest also pushed for another shot at the US title, but there was an interesting situation going on in the background as Shinsuke Nakamura could be seen lurking around. This has led to questions about whether Nakamura also wants a title match or if he's going to cause problems for Priest instead. Either way, the US title scene is heating up with some top stars involved. The Miz has recently been a regular feature on SmackDown due to his partnership with Carmelo Hayes. Still, he's set to be written off television moving forward due to other commitments. Dave Meltzer revealed in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter that Miz will soon be traveling to London to start filming American Gladiators, which the Aleister will host. This could explain why WWE has been showing tension between the partners. Hayes has told Miz that he doesn't need his help and can survive on his own. This gives the company an explanation for writing him off television in a way that makes sense. The Miz's upcoming hosting gig is the latest in an impressive list of non-WWE projects that The Miz has taken on. He's been a part of shows such as Miz and Mrs. and Cannonball, and other reality and talk shows like Dancing with the Stars. It's currently unclear how long he'll be off television. Darkness once again cast a shadow over SmackDown when the Wyatt Six appeared after their recent domination over the entire tag team division. Bo Dallas spoke to the fans this week and paid homage to his late brother. He said that a festering wound that is continually being ripped open by the echo of something that is no more, obviously touching on Wyatt's death. There was then a half-and-half shot of Bray and Bo that was chilling and emotional at the same time, giving fans the impression that Bo was speaking through his brother and sharing his thoughts. Dallas provided an ominous warning to the tag team division by stating he's been watching for a while as he questioned their loyalty and brotherhood, which is an issue they don't have. Dallas said, "From our loss, we have become a family, a ship unshaken by the storm, and yet again, they wanted to forget about us," and said that they had returned not for nostalgia or closure, but to take what they are owed. He then warned the tag team division that their brotherhood would be tested as the Wyatt Six shouldn't be forgotten, which hopefully means they'll be sticking around for a while. Do you enjoy hearing from Bo Dallas, and what do you think the future holds for the Wyatt Six? Let us know down in the comments. The Wyatt Six have given their mission statement and finally have some clear direction, but Dallas's words were put to an immediate test as Fraxium challenged them to a match, which DIY were open to letting them do. Nick Aldis was left speechless, but it appears that a significant tag team encounter can be expected down the line. It'll be interesting to see how the division responds and whether they group together to take on a common threat. However, the entire division is going to change dramatically moving forward. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. WWE announced plans to bring back the King and Queen of the Ring this year, and Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce revealed the tournaments will kick off next week. The tournament will start with fatal four-way matches and then boil down to singles matches. The winner of each tournament will earn a shot at the world title at SummerSlam. The finals are set to take place at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia on June 28th. Ric Flair has provided a sad update by confirming he's battling skin cancer again, which is the second time in 3 years he's been battling it. This comes after the Nature Boy denied having any health issues online, claiming he's absolutely fine, but in an interview with People, Flair confirmed the situation. Flair recently appeared in fan photos with facial injuries, which led to Conrad Thompson responding to fan worries. Unfortunately, Flair has revealed the situation and will now be preparing for another health battle so he can be styling and profiling once again. The Blue Brand has a brilliant tag team division, but this week members of the Raw roster were involved in action as Penta teamed with Andrade to face the Creed brothers. This took place after a backstage confrontation and led to a fun match. Penta and Andrade showed their athleticism with dives over the top rope before their opponents even got in the ring. However, the Creed brothers quickly showed their power and strength by throwing Andrade and Penta around the ring. Chad Gable attempted to get involved by ripping at Penta's mask, but his upcoming opponent Vikingo was on hand to fight him. They brawled into the crowd as Penta and Andrade worked together to score the win after a brilliant tag team match. However, Rollins and his crew remained standing tall as they jumped Penta and Andrade, and even more of Seth's Money in the Bank opponents were softened up. Money in the Bank might be all about the ladder matches, but the show also features a massive tag team bout, and Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso were able to confront their opponents this week. The American Nightmare interrupted a Paul Heyman promo after Penta's tag team match as he hyped up Rollins as the next Mr. Money in the Bank, and Uso followed suit by yeeting his way to the ring. Cody claimed that John Cena is acting desperate, as he said that teaming with Logan Paul is like Michael P.S. Hayes teaming with the Hardy Boys. John Cena was out, demanding his music be turned off, but before he had time to talk, Paul jumped the babyfaces, and the two heels dominated them, with Paul eventually nailing some frog splashes. The 17-time world champion then addressed the fans and said, "Take a good look, no one is coming to save you. I've been telling you this for half a year. Your dream of what WWE is will be ruined. This is your future. I take this home, he takes that to the top," Cena said as he referenced the 2 major titles in the ring. There's no doubt he's doing a good job putting Paul over, as he called him the future of WWE. However, the WWE Universe wants the past, as they chanted, "We want truth." However, it wasn't just WWE fans who chanted this. TNA fans did the same during a TNA World Tag Team title match at Against All Odds, proving he's a man in demand. Rather than ignore the chants as WWE's been doing, Cena addressed them by saying, "You can't handle the truth." He made the situation worse by claiming the fans are pathetic liars and losers for chanting that. Fans continued "We want truth" chants. Then John Cena said that's why fans are losers. He then proclaimed that he would never be back in Bakersfield, wrapping up the show in style as the heels looked dominant before Money in the Bank. R-Truth's firing by WWE was a major surprise due to his popularity, but it's less of a shock that he's not going to be out of work for long. That's because he's had no shortage of offers, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, which claimed R-Truth has had interest from major promotions such as TNA Wrestling and a full schedule of indie shows should he want to take them on. Brian Alvarez revealed that R-Truth could keep himself very busy with independent dates, merchandise, and autograph appearances, showing just how many people want to work with him in the future. However, he hinted that something bigger could be on the cards with his former promotion, TNA Wrestling. R-Truth is a versatile performer who can bring comedy to serious in-ring wrestling, which is why he's still in demand. Whether he chooses to join AEW, TNA, or simply stick to the indies, one thing is clear is that R-Truth is far from finished. Where do you want to see R-Truth show up next? Would AEW give him creative freedom, or should he return to his TNA roots? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. Speaking of the indies, a major surprise occurred this week when Mercedes Moné randomly showed up at an event in Europe. She's been on top of the women's division outside of WWE lately, and she proved her dominance as she turned up at the Pratercatchen wrestling event in Austria this week in what was a surprise appearance, as she came out of a car with all her titles in tow. The CEO of AEW added more gold to her waist as she defeated Lexa Valo and Mila Schmidt to win the EWA Women's title. That's on top of the TBS title, Rev Pro Women's title, and the championship she gained for winning the Owen Hart Cup. The victory gives her plenty of momentum heading into All In Texas, where she'll face Toni Storm for the AEW Women's title, giving her the chance to win a 5th title. Since her move to the main roster, Giulia has been appearing as a babyface, building up her name value at that level. However, this week she showed her true colors, and that's as a heel. She warned Zelina Vega earlier in the night by telling her she was coming for her title, and that was made even clearer later when she attacked the champion and left her lying while holding the title above her head. If Giulia is shifting focus to the US title, it might suggest she's not expected to walk out of Money in the Bank with a briefcase. So is it a spoiler? Not necessarily, but it does hint that WWE has plans for Giulia outside the Money in the Bank ladder match, possibly as Zelina's next significant challenger. What do you think? Should Giulia win Money in the Bank or go straight after the US title? United States champion Zelina Vega faced a tough challenge against Piper Niven in a title match as her title run extended past the 40-day mark. Despite being undersized, she showed her qualities against Niven, but she was pushed to her limits, including a brutal spot where she was slammed into the apron face first. Chelsea Green and Alba Fire tried to sneak attack the champion, but the Beautiful Madness evened the odds by appearing with weapons in hand to attack the heels in a bid to help Vega as she drove Niven through a table to win. This segment opened up the Women's United States title scene, which is exciting for the mid-card of the women's division, giving them all something to fight for. This match also allowed fans to see the new partnership between WWE and Slim Jim as their logos were slapped onto the table when that classic weapon was brought out. It was impossible to ignore as Slim Jim was at the heart of the carnage in a unique sponsorship moment. What do you think of Giulia's sudden heel turn and her sights set on the women's US title? Is she the next big threat to Vega's reign? Let us know in the comments below. Everyone in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match was attempting to build momentum this week when all the competitors competed in a 6-woman tag. Tiffany Stratton first cut a promo to make it clear that she was ready for whoever won, but whether that's true will remain to be seen. The 6-woman tag saw Stephanie Vaquer and Giulia lock up first, with the former NXT allies showcasing their capabilities. However, it was the babyface team that took control, as they had all 3 heels grounded at the same time during one moment of dominance. What transpired was the classic 6-person tag, with everyone getting a little time. However, the outcome never felt like it had much meaning, as they were all already qualified for the ladder match. However, it did give fans a preview of Money in the Bank, and if this is anything to go by, it should be fun. Naomi ended up ditching Perez as she left her high and dry when she went to go for a tag, which allowed Rhea Ripley, Vaquer, and Alexa Bliss to hit their moves in return, with the Eradicator getting the win. How did you find WWE SmackDown on the Go Home episode for Money in the Bank this week? Let us know in the comments. Interesting news now, as according to PW Insider Elite, a major name will soon return to WWE television as a part of this weekend's WWE x AAA Worlds Collide show, as JBL is set to appear. It's unknown what the WWE Hall of Famer will be doing, but JBL has supported Alberto El Patron in AAA in recent years. WWE has been partnering with various promotions lately, and that's set to continue as the NXT Tag Team titles are going to be defended outside of WWE. This time it'll be at Booker T's Reality of Wrestling promotion in Texas. Hank Walker and Tank Ledger will defend their titles on June 14th against Big Luther and Terrell Tempo in a unique opportunity for non-WWE stars. What do you think of WWE working with Reality of Wrestling? Do you think the championships will be dropped to independent stars? Let us know in the comments. Now, Trick Williams stunned the wrestling world when he won the TNA World Championship at WWE Battleground, and at Against All Odds 2025, he put that title on the line against Elijah, formerly known as Elias. Elijah had made it known that he was coming for Trick's championship, even showing up on NXT to witness Williams retain the title against Mike Santana earlier in the week. Their highly anticipated title match headlined Against All Odds and delivered a hard-hitting battle. Early on, Trick removed a middle turnbuckle pad, setting the stage for potential chaos. Elijah gained momentum with a series of attacks, and the action kept swinging between both men. At one point, Trick sent Elijah to the outside with a stiff punch, but Elijah came back strong with a top rope elbow drop for a near fall. AJ Francis made his presence felt mid-match, drawing heavy boos from the crowd. He promised Trick that he had his back, and made good on that by tripping Elijah, giving Trick the opening he needed. Elijah retaliated by knocking Francis into the ring post. A brief scuffle over a guitar ensued, with Elijah grabbing it after Trick missed with a shot, but the referee stopped him from using it. Seizing the distraction, Trick nailed Elijah with the TNA title for a close 2 count. Elijah managed to avoid the Trick shot, but moments later, he hit the exposed steel turnbuckle chest first. That set up Trick for a clean Trick shot to seal the win and successfully retain the championship. As NXT's presence continues to bleed into TNA spotlight, questions loom over what's next for the title picture and who might be next in line for Trick Williams. We're finally ending with TNA's Against All Odds, and the event also saw a major surprise as Billie Kay and Peyton Royce returned to the company. The former WWE duo, known as the Iconics, had worked for TNA Wrestling under the name The Inspiration for a brief period, but ended up leaving as both women opted to start a family. However, they made their presence known in TNA again by returning during the kickoff show after Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance retained their TNA Knockouts tag team titles. What do you think of the Inspiration's return to professional wrestling? Will they be the next challengers for TNA's tag team title gold? Sound off in the comments below.